What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. And before we even do anything in this review, and I know WWE did this too, pretty much, everybody stood, and everybody should be standing for a moment of silence. You know, I believe it's the 16th anniversary of 9/11 from the terrorist attacks. So, um, the fans did pay a moment of silence as they pretty much had I don't know what monologue was it, but at the end it said freedom is not free. So at least they did address the problem. Some almost thought the roster was going to come out and um, almost kind of like what they did years ago back then when 9/11 happened. They would all come out and had a moment of silence, but um, still, it's pretty much what they did. And yes, rest in peace to all the victims that were affected by the tragedy of the terrorist attacks back then of the World Trade Center in New York. I probably had to be in like fourth grade at the time when all this went down. But it's kind of best to address this and never forget, as people have been saying all day about 9/11. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Next was Jason Jordan once again kicking off the show, going against Roman Reigns, which wasn't a bad match, and it actually went on for a minute. It was a competitive match. I always think Jason Jordan, you know, does some great suplexes out there. I'll give him that. And when I was watching the match and looking at the time when it ended, I kind of thought John Cena was going to come out and say something, because Roman Reigns said last week it took you 20 minutes to be a rookie, but it took Cena 11 minutes. It took Roman Reigns 15 minutes, I believe, looking at when the match ended. So yeah, I don't know what this means next for Jason Jordan, and I see they don't really address the whole him being his Kurt Angle's son half the time, or try to mess with Kurt Angle about it, because he has kicked off the show for 2 weeks now, one against Cena and one against Roman Reigns. Pretty much after Roman Reigns, after he won the match, did the spear, he came back and shook Jason Jordan's hand in. So I don't know where this goes for Jason Jordan, but at least he did put on some really good matches with both Roman Reigns and John Cena. But then Cena came out, ready to do shoot promo time with both him and Roman. Yeah, him and Roman doing shoot promos. Cena got 2 microphones, and so it's not a nightstick for your tactical pants right there, buddy. And Cena pretty much started mocking Roman Reigns, you told me it took long to be a rookie, huh? And he told Reigns, what are you gonna say? Oh, it's my yard, and stuff. Roman says, I was busy having a great match. He said, I've had more great matches in the past, what did he say, 2 years than Cena had his entire career. Yeah, it's entirely bullshit right there. I can name way more better Cena matches than the matches Roman Reigns put on the past few years, really. But I don't know why they had him say that line out there. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. Cena pretty much then said, you shall come up here and lace up and let Roman talk. But Roman's burying himself out here, people. Because he has his head so far up his ass. He looks like a human centipede. He has the skill and ability, but he doesn't use it. And he said, you think you can get away with everything around here, but I gotta cut you down to size, pretty much. Cena then talked about Reigns, how I could spin anything, and he said, I challenge myself to try anything, he says. I guess that's why he's going against Strowman tonight. And he pretty much told Reigns, I can destroy you and whatever. And he pretty much told in his face, he says, you are a failure. And he says, at no mercy, I'm going to show you that you are a failure. And you're supposed to be a guy, you're supposed to stay up and stay sharp, and you do your homework, pretty much. But Cena says, you know what? At no mercy, he said, look at Holmes, looking at Holmes, but he said, looking at you, it's gonna be a cakewalk at no mercy. And then Reigns pretty much told, which this is now Reigns' new favorite word, bring your bitch ass back here. He says, you think you're about to leave, huh? He said, you know what? I've been selling tickets. I've been selling out arenas around here. WWE don't need you, which I don't know what y'all selling out nowadays at WWE, because most of the time I'm seeing half-empty arenas or I don't even think people, come on, really, arenas, half these arenas are barely even full when you look at it. These are half empty arenas, or at least 70% full, so it's not really a full house when you look at it at the time. And a lot of the time the crowd doesn't even react. But Reigns says the ticket sales are great. Okay, buddy, we'll see. Ticket sales are great. I highly doubt that. And he says, and that's why you need that to be, because you can't break into Hollywood. But Roman says, if you need some help, I know a guy, The Rock. So he did that. And then Cena said, you gotta fight fire, and that's what I'm gonna do. And Cena was trying to tell Roman, which they went there with it, consider me as a drug test, Holmes. You ain't getting past me. And Cena does that smirk that he usually does and left the ring then. So yeah, more shoot promo time with both Cena and Roman Reigns. I'm not saying it's getting old, but they are somewhat overdoing it, and they're trying to take as many shots as they can at each other, especially the drug test part. But Roman had a couple good comebacks on the way, but I don't know. Going against Cena on the microphone is like going against murder almost. Sasha Banks went against Emma. Nia Jackson, Alexa Bliss were on commentary. Sasha won with the bank statement. It was an alright match, I'll give it that, but Sasha needed a win to begin with after these very idiotic losses she took. She needed the win. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are out there next for Anaheim, California. He said, Paul says, it's my job to sell you guys the match, the No Mercy main event, and that Braun Strowman is a worthy challenger. And Heyman pretty much, said, the odds are stacked against Lesnar. And, when he faced Undertaker at WrestleMania, but he made it through. And how what Lesnar did, what Strowman did to Lesnar at SummerSlam. And Heyman, he said that Strowman thinks he's going to beat Brock Lesnar. He said, you're not going to have to beat him. You have to rip the title away from him if you want to beat him. And you have to remember that Lesnar was the, in 2002, the next big thing. And he's beating people like The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, which everybody did boo, Mr. ECW now, Rob Van Dam, and Undertaker himself. And he questioned, he said, you're going to monster handle the Beast here? And you're going to monster handle Cena later in the show? Because he said, you're going to have to cross over from sports entertainment to Suplex City. And then Heyman talked about the Broctagon, and he raised question Strowman, says, you want to fight? I know you want to fight, he says. And it's going to be fighter ready, let's go. Fighter ready, he says. Fighter, are you ready? Which was kind of funny in a way, because he just kept going on to Broctagon. And he says, you want to know what's going to happen? He says, Strowman, are you ready? Come out here now. So fighter, are you ready? Strowman came out. He pretty much went for Brock. Strowman dropped this power slam on, but Brock dodged it. He did a German suplex, but Strowman no-sold it and went back up on his feet. Lesnar didn't know what was going on. The fans went, holy shit. Strowman pretty much chokeslammed and then power slammed him and left him there. As he held the belt up to Lesnar and pretty much, he tapped it 3 times and put it down. And some people think this is 50-50 booking. Something we've actually seen a lot of it this year, though, really, in some type of a pattern. If you go to the beginning, almost the last year too, even the beginning of the year, because it's like Brock Lesnar's going to lose at a pay-per-view. They've done this with Goldberg, they've done this with Roman Reigns, they've done this with Samoa Joe, because we all thought Samoa Joe was going to win, and now we're doing this with Braun Strowman now, where they will get the upper hand on Brock on Raw, and then somehow, some way, Brock will win the match at the pay-per-view. Do I think Strowman's going to win the title at No Mercy? I'm not really sure if he is in that, but it didn't sure look like it. It was Raw when he pretty much no-sold that German suplex and get right back up. So some look at it as some type of a pattern, but we'll find out and see then. Next was, they pretty much addressed the Hurricanes and talked to Booker about it. Goldust, who I thought was a heel, went against Bray Wyatt, and I guess pretty much a squash match, and Bray Wyatt cut a promo and Tom, I watched you for a long time, and I'm going to prove that you're a mortal man, which, once again, we're still continuing this Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt thing, except it's not going to be demon, it's going to be man versus man. I don't understand the continuation of this feud or why is it going. I really don't care what Bray Wyatt says because it's like the same promo every time. And once again, last time I thought Goldust was a heel, so this was a heel versus heel match. And wasn't Goldust supposed to be looking for a protege or whatever happened to that? I don't know if they ended his push already because they killed that. Because I could have swore he was a heel. What happened to his sidekick? He was supposed to get a protege. That didn't happen. But Bray Wyatt beat him with Sister Abigail. And then he took a cloth and tried to wipe the face paint off him and said he's just a man. Finn Balor came out for the save, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I don't really care what's going on in this Wyatt versus Finn Balor feud at this point. Should have been over at SummerSlam. Next was pretty much have another heel versus heel match, but supposed to be the Club, Gallows and Anderson versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Ambrose and Rollins were on commentary. But next thing you know, they got into a brawl with Sheamus and Cesaro. And then Gallows and Anderson got involved and jumped them. And then they brawled with each other. And then they talked to Kurt Angle in the back. He says, you gotta find yourselves a tag team, which are barely any tag teams on the show. We already know what the tag team are gonna pick, people, so why address it? And Ambrose says, we'll get Batman or Mickey Mouse. So we got to his Kurt Angle says, Batman, huh? That does sound pretty cool. So that was kind of weird. Officially coming to Raw soon. We don't know when. Whenever she's healed from her injury. Asuka will be going to Monday Night Raw. She pretty much left undefeated at NXT because she did get hurt. I think it was in the match during Ember Moon in TakeOver Brooklyn 3. So hey, they found a way. Well, it's fortunate she got hurt because it was her collarbone, I believe, and she has to heal up. But hey, she went out NXT undefeated, and nobody couldn't beat her. And she was the longest reigning champion over 523 days, I believe. So, couldn't stop Asuka. Couldn't stop her. Now, as for Monday Night Raw, I don't know. Because you can't trust creative on Raw. You see how they ruin NXT people on here already. Look at the Bayley situation, folks. Look what happened to Bayley. That's just one example. So hopefully they don't fuck Asuka up, but this is on Raw, and I'd rather have it on SmackDown, but hey, SmackDown's not looking that great nowadays either, so you don't know what to trust out here. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax for them watching in the back, as they say we're best friends, but Nia Jax says we're not best friends, and Alexa tried to apologize, but we're gonna, Jax said, told Bliss, you may not wanna wait and everything to apologize, because next week's gonna be Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Next week, Elias Sampson sang about Anaheim and how it sucked with the Mighty Ducks, and Kalisto, who still has a job here, went against Sampson, pretty much in a squash match, even though it only went like 5 minutes, because I even know Kalisto was still here, and I guess they told everybody to bid on his mask, because I know they're doing for that Kindness Cure thing, to fight pediatric cancer, so, I guess bid on his mask. I don't really understand, but I just didn't know Kalisto was still here, really. So I didn't really care about this match. I got nothing with Samson right now. John Cena went against Braun Strowman. Wasn't a bad match. Crowd was into it, into the later half of the show. Mostly Strowman was dominating throughout the match on Cena, because he really did dominate him, and Cena came back. He did get an FU on him. Which, the weirdest thing to me was this. Yes, the match ended in DQ, which some people thought Lesnar was going to interfere, but he didn't. Or even Roman, but pretty much, this thing I didn't get. You hit John Cena with the steel steps, it's no DQ. When you slam him on the steel steps, there is a DQ. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The DQ was the first time when he hit you with the steel steps. So it was mostly dominant, and then Roman Reigns said that, just like Strowman, I'm not going to show him no mercy. With some people, they just make Cena look kind of weak getting destroyed. Listen, we got to make Braun Strowman look strong. So I guess the DQ was the way to go. But some people think like, if Cena pretty much looked weak right here, will he look weaker at No Mercy now? But the match was for what it was. I'm surprised this wasn't the main event. That really surprises me. I don't know why this wasn't the main event. Didn't make a lot of sense. Miz and his entire Miztourage came out. Before I get to that, I thought it was one thing. It's from Ambrose and Rollins looking for tag team partners, and they found 2 guys, and then even Jamie Noble and the Man of 1,000 Holds, Dean Malenko, was in the back. I haven't seen that guy in a while. And then they found the Hardys, since they're the only ones tag team they have, so you already knew that was gonna be the tag team. And Matt, I guess, woken. I don't know what to say about the Matt Hardy thing at this point. Cases or whatever, it's whatever he wants to be. But it's still fun to delete. But yes, I said Miz is entitled Miz Taraj off of Miz TV, and he wanted to make a special announcement before he did this show to address to everybody. Pretty much, Miz announced that he and Maurice are going to have a baby, and people did chant yes, and he did kind of pledge to the child would not be like, I would be there for my kid, unlike Kurt Angle was, and then he was going to speak about a fatherhood. Fatherhood is a privilege. It belongs to great men until Enzo appeared. But, just to say congratulations to both Miz and Maurice on having their first child. So, congratulations to them, though, before I continue on with this. Enzo did his thing as usual, and he's going to celebrate, but pretty much Miz, once again, we got another shoot promo here, folks, or work shoot. He says, you and Enzo and Cass will be the next big thing. You sold t-shirts, you teamed with Cena. Well, look at you now. You're nothing. Because you don't know when to keep your mouth shut. That's why you get kicked out of the WWE tour buses and locker rooms. And, Enzo, you didn't choose to go to the Cruiserweight division because they put you in the Cruiserweight division because they had nothing else for you. And, and now you want to try. And he said, that's coming from me too, alright? And he pretty much told him, like, you're not helping the Cruiserweights. The Cruiserweights do high-flying, stuff, death-defying flips and everything. What do you do? And, you need to get some help, pretty much. And he says, I see potential in you, but you always fall on your face all the time. So you don't have your 7-foot meal ticket anymore. So you're just nothing. You're just a con man with a couple of catchphrases. So, anyway, Miz pretty much buried him, okay? And this is stuff we already kind of know about Enzo and everything, with him having major heat in the back from the kicking off tour buses and locker rooms, and him just having major heat that people hate him, and why they broke up him and Cass, and now he's really nothing when you look at it. He's not setting the Cruiserweight division on fire. And let me put this out here too. This is the only Cruiserweight related thing you saw tonight. You usually probably see some 6-man spot fest from the Cruiserweights, but I guess Enzo is the makeup for it. So yeah, and this is supposed to be all a shoot promo here. So this is stuff we haven't heard about Enzo before. We've been hearing a lot of stories in the back, but like I said, he's not setting the Cruiserweight division on fire. I don't see how far this is going to keep going with him, because I don't watch 205 Live in the begin with, so I don't know how he's going to make me watch 205 Live, really. It's just Enzo. Then Enzo went on and says, things are about to get real now. He says, we got nothing in common. And he said, when you got here, all you did was you copied Chris Jericho and Ric Flair. You're not even original. You're just a carbon copy of people. You're a paper champion. And he says, you know what, when I win the Cruiserweight title, I got no problem beating you too. And Miz says, tell Enzo, you're not even championship material, and your best friend abandoned you now. Enzo says, I may not have a lot of friends, but all I need is to fight on the spot. And Miz pretty much says, you don't know what you're getting into. And he says, I'm dedicated, since it's going to be a match right now, he's going to dedicate this victory to his unborn child right now. And Enzo pretty much said, you apologize to the child because, Daniel Bryan was right and called him pretty much soft and everything. So, mostly a work shoot here, almost like Cena and Reigns. So, yeah. And like I said, Enzo's like the only thing after Cruiserweights. And here's the weirder part about this whole thing. They do the match, and most of it is just them talking about each other. Enzo's talking about Miz and his straight-to-DVD movies, and, talking about Dallas and what's his name, Axel there, and then Miz gets the mic and starts hitting his head and says, how you doing, and they just start talking at each other, and then Miz is on the top rope and Enzo knocks him, and then you say, you want to steal my catchphrases, huh? Then what's the question to the debate when he asks, who's your daddy? Then Then the Miz got up, the crowd started chanting, "Who's your daddy?" Miz pretty much lost it. Him and the rest of the Miz roster started jumping Enzo with a skull crushing finale. So it pretty much ended with DQ'd, which this made no sense. Okay, this was an odd segment. First Miz announced he's having a kid, and then we have shoot promos there, and then we're having a match with both guys talking throughout the match, which is even weirder. And then Enzo's gonna question if the baby is even Miz's in that, and I don't know what this whole segment was, but it was a very strange segment, which didn't make sense. And by the way, does the Miz even have an opponent for SummerSlam? Not SummerSlam, for No Mercy for the Intercontinental title? Because it looks like he doesn't. Listen, I already said it before. Miz has not really been a good look on Raw ever since he left SmackDown to begin with. And yeah, he's the Intercontinental Champion, but they got him literally doing nothing. Okay, folks? Even I think they should have just had Jeff Hardy win the title last week. And then, pretty much after that, Enzo was stumbling backstage, and Neville pretty much came out to him and did a laugh and left. The main event, which I don't even know why this was the main event, but it was the Hardys, Rollins and Ambrose going against Sheamus, Cesaro, and Gallows and Anderson. Match was okay. Matt tripped throughout the match. I guess he tried to break up the pin, but he tripped on the ground, which was kind of most likely end up on Botchamania. The match was whatever. Jeff and Matt hit 2 Twisted Fates on Gallows and stuff, and Sheamus and Cesaro getting in the ring, but pretty much the Hardys and Rollins and Ambrose pretty much blocked them. Then after that, and told him to come back then, but it didn't happen. Rollins hit his Rainmaker / V-trigger move, and Ambrose did Dirty Deeds. The match was over. I don't know why this is really the main event, and that's Cena versus Strowman. I thought this was pretty strange in a way. But, I don't know, some people think Cena versus Strowman was just a way to compete with Monday Night Football that was going on tonight. So, yeah. The show wasn't bad. I'll give that. Anaheim was a really good crowd. I'll give them the credit for there. But mostly what you already saw tonight was Strowman taking out Lesnar again, and then the Cena versus Reigns promo. That's what you can really say what went on with Raw. Like I said, it wasn't a bad show, but yeah, you had its odd parts here and there. You had Cena versus Strowman. Hey, Roman versus Jordan was pretty good too. I'll give it that. But some things, yeah, strange going on. Asuka's coming to Raw, so it's really make or break that. White versus Goldust was just odd in a way. Heyman's promo is usually great, so that's good. Sasha needs a win, so at least she got a win. Tag match was whatever, almost basic to me. I didn't trip, but the match was just kind of whatever with the Hardys in them. Because I don't think the Hardys got nothing else going on right now anyways. But the strangest part was the Enzo, Miz, and promo and match was just a very strange outlook at that whole thing. But I'm going to roll from here. I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Comment, subscribe, and we'll see you out here next time on the show. So, peace.